as you can see, we are back out here at Brandywine Harley-Davidson. We got my guy Dan right here, and we got this awesome 2020 Road King that we're going to take a look at today. So this is a 2020 Road King. This is the Pine Spruce. Dan, give us a little information on this bike right here.
Super fantastic touring model. The difference between that was asking between his Sportster and this Road King, and it's extremely vast difference. Night and day. I've seen people come off their old Sportster, go to a touring bike, and it is, you know, their face gets stuck with a smile as they go home on their brand new bike. The best way to find out, come and find out for yourself. Throw a leg over, do demo days here. Every day is an open house. So thank you very much for watching the channel. Perfect.
Yeah, so like he said, I'm going to be hopping on this bike here in just a second. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a little bit of just like what he said. I'm going to give you some comparison of what I'm experiencing when I hop on this and what it's like going from my Sportster. Let everybody out there know, if anybody's interested in going from a Sportster up to a Road King touring like this, give you a little information on what my experience is as I'm riding. So like I said, I'm going to drop all of Dan's information, Brandywine Harley's information down here in the comments. This bike is for sale obviously out here, along with a lot of other great bikes in there, so make sure you check them out. Any questions, let us know, drop them in the comments. We'll check you on the bike here in just a second. I am out on a Harley-Davidson Road King right now, so this is pretty cool. This is a totally different experience for me right now. I have, you know, obviously I have the 2019 Sportster, the Iron 1200. I've been on the Lowrider S, FXDR, you know, different bikes like that. Of course, been on some Indians here and there, but this is pretty cool because this is actually my first time on a bagger. First time on a Road King and first time on a Harley-Davidson bagger. So this is pretty cool. This is a pretty cool experience right now. Finally getting to ride a bagger. See what the touring life is all about. So we're gonna hit some of these back roads up here out in Chadds Ford, Brandywine, PA. So since I'm typically on the Sportster and this is my first time on a bagger, first time on a Road King, I want to talk a little bit about what this experience is like coming from the Sportster to the Road King. So this is a 107, the classic Road King that we're on right now. And I'm taking it easy because, man, I gotta tell you what, this is a totally different experience that I gotta get used to. You know, a bigger bike, we got the bags, it's a little heavier, and it definitely took me a minute to figure out these floorboards and these controls. You know, they're a little bit more forward. I'm so used to the pegs and just having my mids right underneath me, and we got a little bit more of like the foot pedal for the brake. So I'm definitely just taking a minute to get used to this thing here. And so when I hopped on here, one thing that I'll let you guys know is I've always said I'm a little bit of a shorter rider. I'm 5'6", and I'm actually on my tippy toes on this. So I don't know if it's the seat, kind of like the seat position, but I'm on the balls of my feet when I come to a stop, which was also something to get used to. So obviously coming from the Sportster, you're gonna get used to the power a little bit, the 107. I've been on the 114 and some of the other bikes like the Lowrider S, the FXDR. Of course has the 107, a little bit stepped down from the 114, but still plenty responsive in this heavier bike. Still smooth, still a great ride, still a great engine. Another thing that I'm trying to get used to with the handling here, obviously you've got a bigger tank. I believe this is a 5-gallon tank on the Road King. I'm so used to having plenty of space down here with the Sportster, the skinny frame, the skinny tank. I gotta get used to being kind of like more squeezed in and tightened up to the tank. But as far as the riding position compared to the Sportster, I'm really starting to get comfortable and used to this. Having the feet out a little bit farther straight ahead, getting used to that brake pedal. The reach with the handlebars in this stock position isn't too bad. But overall, pretty smooth and comfortable, pretty cushy ride, man. Kind of a little bit of what I expected. Obviously, we've got the windshield up here. I'm pretty short, like I said. I'm pretty much behind this thing. I can feel wind coming in around me. So but it's blocking a lot of that head-on wind, which is actually pretty nice. This would be great on the highway. Man, this would be awesome if I would have had this for this 1,200-mile road trip I just took a couple weeks ago instead of freaking cranking it out with the Sporty on the highway. But anyways, yeah, back to the bike and the comparison to the Sportster a little bit. I mean, so much heavier, obviously. So much more planted and just firm and stable, which is a really kind of nice feeling. I feel like my arms are in a really good, comfortable position to where, man, that's why, you know, they call it the Road King, because you can just crush miles and miles on this thing. Going over some bumps, suspension is nice, you're hitting them, but you're just kind of coasting, gliding right over them, giving you that good, comfortable touring feeling. As far as the view right here, again, you've got your dash down here, you got your typical Harley controls, everybody's familiar and used to those. The dash, a little bit difficult to see, kind of like on the Lowrider S, you got to look down when it's on the tank, but nothing too crazy, nothing out of the ordinary there, you just kind of get used to that. So every time I pull away from a stop like that, I gotta remember where these floorboards are. Such a different experience. Like I said, with the Sporty, I'm used to popping them up there, getting right onto the mids, shifting gears real quick. Another thing, like I said, I'm still getting used to this brake pedal for the rear brake. But yeah, other than that, very good, cushy, comfortable feeling. I notice that as I slide myself back into the seat, it actually gets a little bit more comfortable. I can reach out a little bit more, and I find a little bit more space in the seat. So like I said before, I was like really super tight up on the tank, but I'm realizing if I slide myself back a little bit, then I start to get some space in between my legs. So what are those key points you're going to be considering if you're looking to go from a Sportster up to a Road King like this? I mean, obviously you're going to be wanting to get out farther and go for longer, farther trips. You're going to have your bags, of course, you're going to have your windshield, bigger tank, all those things are going to allow you to get out longer and further, just like obviously as you would expect with a touring bike. And so some of those things that you're going to feel is obviously the weight of the bike. It's a little bit heavier, but once you get rolling, all of those skills and everything are just pretty much the same, of course. So once you get going, I mean, the thing's stabilized. The only difference is where you're going to notice that weight is at some of those lower speeds. All right, now we're out on the highway a little bit. This allows us to open it up a little bit. So there we go. Now you feel some of that 107 power, which is obviously going to be a huge difference over the Sportster. Just a very comfortable, responsive engine in the 107. I mean, 107 more than capable of handling this bigger, heavier bike, obviously. Yeah, I mean, just a comfortable, smooth ride with this touring chassis in the 107 engine. And of course, another thing that you're going to have to get used to if you're coming from a Sportster up to a Road King like this is, like I said before, kind of that position. Like, getting used to these floorboards is very different. It's going to take you a little while to get used to that, but I'm sure it'll come quick, obviously. I'm getting more and more used to it after just being out on this short little ride now. But you're getting used to where kind of that shifter is, where that brake pedal is, as opposed to kind of the brake lever on the Sportster. It's just real small and tiny. I don't know if you can see it here, but there I am on my tippy toes just a little bit, the balls of my feet. I'm 5'6", just like I mentioned before. So if you're a little taller than that, probably not going to have a problem getting those feet down fully flat. But then that's just one of the things to always kind of consider when you're coming from, you know, a smaller bike like a Sportster up to a bigger touring bike like a Road King, for example. But yeah, man, I mean, as far as this thing being more comfortable and things like that, I mean, there's no question, obviously that's going to be one of the main reasons you would be upgrading from a Sportster to a Road King, is you're looking to get out longer, hit a little more miles, hit a little more highway stuff. Like, I'm just super planted right now. I mean, this feels really good. 55, 60 miles an hour. Super planted. I mean, you could just go for a while on this. Alright, so this has been another awesome experience out here at Brandywine Harley-Davidson. Huge shout out to Dan, as always. And shout out to the team at Brandywine Harley-Davidson. Let me come out, take this bike for a ride. Getting a little experience on the Bagger for the first time, on a Road King for the first time. Talking a little bit about what this experience is like coming from a Sportster to a Road King. If anybody has any questions out there about what this was like, or my thoughts, anything you didn't get from the video, drop a comment down there and let me know if you have any questions about this bike, my Sportster, going from a Sportster to this Road King, anything like that. Or you can get in touch with Dan and Brandywine Harley-Davidson. They can answer any questions you have about any of these bikes that they have out there as well. So that is going to wrap it up for this one. I'm headed back to the dealer, going to link up with Dan, BS with him again. Like I said, huge shout out to him, huge shout out to Brandywine Harley-Davidson. I'm going to link up all their info down there. Make sure you check them out. So like I said, we just pulled back into Brandywine Harley-Davidson, got the Road King parked back up. One last look at it as we wrap this one up. As always, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you ride safe out there. Make it a good one. It's the Moto John. We'll see you all on down the road. Peace.